Alright, back again, Luke here. And today what I thought we could do is take a look at that Jurassic Park, The Lost World arcade kind of setup I had made here for that last video, if you guys saw that. And kind of take a look around the cab just a little bit. This is something that I made up just using a lot of scrap wood that I had laying around. And nothing is exactly the same size as what the original cabinet was. I just kind of eyeballed it up here and decided to make a cabinet out of the scrap that I had here. Using this, a drill, and this guy here. This is a Japanese saw. It's called a Nokogiri, and it's a really versatile saw. If you guys have never used one of these before, it's amazing. I mean, just the ability to cut through almost anything. If you're used to regular hand saws, I would totally recommend this. I mean, it's something cool to try out. You guys would be very surprised on how easy it is to use, but that's how I made this cab here. And like I said, just using a bit of my own measurements, kind of like about where you could put the control panel and about where you could adjust the guns, you know, for the monitor height and whatnot. Some people had asked about the monitor itself and how it's all kind of wired up. The monitor, although it's really dark and it's hard to see, it does have 12 sensors around the outside of it. This has all of the exact internals of the game aside from the monitor, which I'm just using a regular Dell monitor that can be displayed at 24 kilohertz. And then it has the control panel, the original control panel, using the IR gun setup. Now, one thing I did do is I removed the guns from here. These are actually usually affixed in the back there, which give it a really limited range. But I found that it's sometimes hard to get the adjustment right and get the sensors to work all right with the guns. So maybe something I need to look at, or something I need to try to tweak just a little bit more. I put the arcade PCB down here, and I drilled out a couple of holes using a hole saw so it can get ventilation from the front, and then that'll kind of blow through the back there to make it a little bit easier for circulation to flow through. Without that, I mean, it would just be kind of stuck against the front there, and it would only get limited circulation. But like I said, these are the original IR guns that are being used for the setup, and yeah. That's the front of it. Now what I'll do here is I'll try and move this thing around so you guys can take a look at the side and whatnot. But the side is a bit kind of thin. It's not as wide as the original. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit out of focus, but you guys can see down here, here's the side view. I didn't have enough lumber down at the bottom there. It is secured in the middle with some wood, but I didn't have enough to kind of cover up this side here. This is where I have the power jack kind of coming out there for the on-off switch, but like I said, it is securely supported through the inside internally with some supports. But the outside here, it's a bit thinner, just kind of comes up like this, and then this is for the monitor bezel and whatnot. But it's probably about, you know, half the size of the original cabinet. The original cabinet was definitely much deeper, but this is a little bit thinner here. Try and kind of conserve space a bit. But that's the side of it right there. And then we'll swing this thing around. I'll show you guys a picture of the back. Okay, so as for the back here, I have the monitor kind of supported here with one rail in the bottom, and then I have one up top. This is actually bolted to there. You can see where the actual outer sensors connect, and this is all the way around here, and it has a bit of a cardboard piece behind it which kind of blocks out the light from the back. But then that's all attached to that, and that's where the monitor sits. I've got a couple of holes here drilled into the bottom. This one is where the power and the monitor cable come through, and then this one here is where the sensor bar cable comes through. When we come down here, this is where the volume is and the test switches, as well as you can see the back of the arcade cabinet. This is where the guns and everything connect, as far as like the start and coin in buttons go. And then down here, we've got our gun PCB. It's going to be a little bit hard to see here. This is the gun PCB that's connected all the way up here through the amplifier, and it has two amplifiers. I believe one is for the subwoofers and or the subwoofer. The other one is for the tweeters here on the side, or just the main speakers up front. And then that is all kind of connected into this kind of rat's nest of a wiring setup. This is all the original wire from the original cabinet here, which unfortunately was thrown away. So all I could get was the internals. But this is the power supply down here, and the power supply is connected to the PCB, which is on the side. Once again, it's very hard to see down there, but it has the power rails and everything. And then there is the board. So you can see here, these are the two vents where the fan pops out. And then under here is where the subwoofer is, as well as a fan is down here. And then there's a very huge, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a transformer back there. Not the kinds that actually change shape, but that's a power transformer down there. And that's how it's all wired up. So it's a bit of a, you know, I don't know, kind of a little bit of a mess here. The wires aren't, you know, nicely strapped around the side or anything like that, but they are a bit shorter, and because of the original custom cab had a specific spot for these to go, I just kind of have this kind of pushed in there. But the airflow is able to go through with the power supply, which is fine, and then everything else is just kind of resting in there. If I need to take the board out, I can remove the board. That has a couple of screws on the end here, so you can just kind of pop the top off there and go from there. But that's how it's wired up. These are the PCBs that have a tendency to go bad, and yeah, the sensors around the bezel also have a tendency to go bad, but that's where we're at with this setup. Like I said, nothing really special. It's a bit crude, but it does do the job. So yeah, just want to share with you guys a little bit of a look at how this thing is set up here, how it's wired up. But that is my homemade setup after about 9 hours or so with a handsaw and drill and whatnot like that. So able to get this thing put together. Hopefully you guys enjoy this a little bit. But that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon. So thanks for watching. Like I said, there's the old PCB setup. If I want to, I can just kind of lift this out of the way. So it's really easy to move in and out there. But yeah, that's it.